Tonight I was thinking about those moments that maybe you've had, as I've had, where something obscure happens and it's connected to something that was in your thoughts earlier, maybe earlier in your journey, where you experienced something and now these two pieces connect, which is kind of interesting. Now, I'm not talking about deja vu, where you go, oh, I've been here before, and you scratch your head and you wonder, oh, why do I have this moment that feels so familiar? No, I'm talking about those moments where it's obscure, and yet it seems connected to something else. When I was a kid, and we would play games, those imagination games, you know, when you're cops and you're robbers, cowboys and Indians, things of that nature, I would always choose names from people I didn't know. I didn't know a Larry and I didn't know a Harold in my world, so those were the names that I would use in that imagination moment. So Larry and Harold could either be the good guy, the bad guy, it didn't matter. That was my go-to names because I didn't want to use common names around me. Let's fast forward to when I'm a student at college. My roommate and I would sometimes go to a Goodwill or to a Salvation Army or a thrift store. And we were always looking for obscure things. We always thought t-shirts that were weird, we'd buy those, and we'd look for other things that were obscure. And this particular afternoon, we find two bowling shirts. Yeah, the bowling shirts that you and I are familiar with, where the name of the lane is on the back, button up the front, kind of the square box cut. And the shirts were embroidered with two names. One shirt said Larry, and the other shirt said Harold. Well, of course, we bought them. And then we wore them back to campus. And we were known as Larry and Harold for the longest time, just because of those foolish shirts that we purchased. But then again, it gets connected. We're together, and a moment now connects to another moment. We were traveling to Florida for spring break. And before we left, we were in an older car, and so we were fooling around at a store. And I said, hey, let's buy those helmets. Now, I'm not talking about motorcycle helmets or football helmets. These were space helmets. They were in the kids' department, and they were just big enough that we could get them on. So we bought 4 of them, all 4 guys that were going down to visit. We put on the space helmets, and we thought they were hilarious. And so we would take them to the beach when we'd go to the beach, and we'd take them to funny places, and we'd put the stupid hats on, thinking that we were really, really funny, and we're trying to figure out, why did we buy these hats? But we were having a really fun time with these just novel things. On the trip home, we're driving down the highway. We've had a long week, we've had a lot of fun, and we come across this VW Bug that's in front of us on the highway. We see it in the distance, and as we're traveling along, I turn to the guys and I say, hey, everybody put on your weird hat. Put on your space helmet and get it on. And if you have a pair of goofy glasses with you, or if you got sunglasses you want to put on, whatever it might be, put on the helmets. Have the helmets on. And when we get up to that guy, we're just going to drive right by him as slow as we can, or at pace with him. And I'll say 1, 2, 3, and we'll all turn and look at this guy. All 4 aliens looking at the dude. We think it's kind of stupid, but we figured, why not? We're traveling home. We're wasting time. We pull up next to the VW Bug. I, under my breath, say, 1, 2, 3. We turn and we look, and the driver is wearing the exact same space helmet with a pair of weird-looking glasses on. I don't know how long we laughed. We laughed for such a long time, and it was so obscure. And I would have loved to have pulled over that car and just say, would your name happen to be Larry, or would your name maybe be Harold? That's it.